So since we're subtracting, that means divide. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And 1 0 means now it's 3 zeros. In base 10. Let me make that a little bit closer. Sorry about that. And now log 10, 10 cubed because there's 3 zeros. And by the way, I know you're not getting much space here, but you'll have a lot more space for your test. So I'm going to work up here now. Log 10, 10 is 1 times 3. Boom, your answer is 3. Okay, let's do the next one. Negative log 1/5. Well, since this is 1/5, this has to be 1/5. But since that's a whole number and that's a fraction, you know it's going to be negative. And now what you're going to do is pick it up in your calculator. And you're going to go 5 squared. No. 5 cubed. Yippee. So it's to the -3. Then that turns into 1. This is an imaginary -1. That's a 1. That's a -3. Multiply them, and you get +3. Okay? Let's go to the next one. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of things. We're going to be multiplying, and we're going to be dividing. So we're going to go 36 times 6 over 1. You can just do that in your calculator. 36 times 6 divided by 1, 216. I think you knew that, but I just wanted to show my work. Make them have the same base. Do it in your calculator. You realize it's 3. There's 1. The little turns big. Boom, my answer is 3. And I went a little bit fast on this. Sorry, I'm feeling rushed, because the actual question is which one equals whatever this question is. So let me simplify that. That would be log 3. Let me move that up. You can't see it. Log 3, 54 divided by 2. Log 3, 27. Log 3, 3 cubed. Little turns big. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, let me pause that really quick. In this case, all of them are equivalent to the original question. Let's try the last one. The last one is a little bit more complex, but it's okay. Remember how the little turns big, but this time we have a big, so it's going to turn little. Okay, just do the inverse. So then I know now that 2 squared is 4. And I know that some of you have a tendency to want to simplify this and maybe simplify this, but there's that 2/3 in there, and I feel like there's something I have to do with that. So what that really means is 4 divided by 2/3 divided by 16. Okay? So I want you to be careful when you're seeing those types of problems. And now I'm going to go in my calculator, which is fine if you don't use your calculator, by the way. If you want to go without a calculator, which of course I encourage. 4 goes into 2 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6 times 16 is 96. So I get log 4 of 96, and just making sure. So I'm going to show you how you can do that in your calculator. You can go 4 divided by, since it's a fraction, you've got to put it in parentheses, and then divide that by, oops, I multiplied by 16 instead of dividing by 16. Okay. And then divide that by 16. Shoot. Go 6 divided by 16. It's a decimal. Turn it into a fraction. Remember how you turn something into a fraction? You go second PRB. And then it tells you the fraction is 3/8. So I get log 4 3/8. Now, I actually can't simplify that anymore, but let me tell you, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, you will be able to simplify it more. So I obviously created a very bad problem that doesn't display what it will be like on the test, but be aware that 99.9% sure that you'll be able to simplify that. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. And do me a favor and cross off letter D, please. Perfect. Identify the one that represents this function. If you see that it's a 3, that means 300%. That implies growth. The one that's growth, B. That's all I want you to do with that, okay? Let's go to the next one. For the next one, I don't care about this. I changed it a little bit, so let me look at the test really quick to make sure we're good. Okay. I want you to show if it's growth or decay. So this neg 0.8 means that it is decay by 20%. And the justification is that it's between 0 and 1. Okay. And then I want you to find at least 3 points. It doesn't matter, but I would go negative, maybe just -1, just to get the shape of it. Remember, I don't want a line, I don't want a squiggle. So I'll start with -1. So I'm going to go in my calculator, 15 parentheses 0.8 to the negative first power. So 15 parentheses 0.8 to the 1. Let me make sure that works out to the same thing as. Perfect, it worked out. And I get 12. Now I don't need a calculator for the next one because anything to the 0 power is 1 times 15 is 15. 0.8 to the first power is still 0.8, so I'm just going to go 15 times 0.8, and that's 12. Something happened here because I shouldn't be getting, if it's decay, that should be bigger. So let me do this again. 0.8 to the -1, and then times 15. 8, just kidding. Slow down. 1875. And then now I'll go 0.8 squared. And then times 15. And I know that it's decay because I look and my numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All right. I feel like I have big numbers. I'm just going to fake it a little bit. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. It's going to be okay. So -1, 18, 0, 15, 1, 12, 2, 9.6. So I can see it's decaying. I'm faking that a little bit, but I can do the general shape. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So you purchased a car in 2015. So this is the initial price. It depreciates. Depreciates means it goes down. So I'm going to go 100 minus 18, or I'm going to go 1 minus 0.18. Either way, I get 0.82 to the x. And all they want for the first one, which is why there isn't very much space, is for you to write a function. F of x, g of x, h of x, whatever. Estimate the number of years that it will take it to be less than 12,000. And again, let me say, you will have more space when you take your test. I just didn't want to use as much paper for the review. So 12,000 is what I want. Now I'm going to divide by 26,595. So in my calculator, I'm going to go 12 divided by 26,595, and I get 0.45. I'm going to write that as an estimation, but I'm going to keep that answer in my calculator. Now, I don't know what that is, so that's the purpose of logs. I log both sides. And then I'm left with, remember, little turns big. So I'm left with log of 0.45 equals x log of 0.82. And now to solve, I divide by 0.82. So I'm going to do this. Log of my answer, which is second negative, and my parentheses. So now it's stored that perfect value in there, and then divided by log of 0.82, and I get 4.01. So it's about 4 years. I'll finish up the last problem in the next video.